Okay, hello everybody. Time here with Burcu Onaranel Erten. Is that right?
Hello, Tanya. Burcu Onaranel Erten. Yes.
Burcu, thank you. Okay. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, so Burcu, you are tuning in from Hungary. You're originally from Turkey. I'm excited to get to this topic of the work that you do, which is NLP. You work with entrepreneurs and coaches and provide life coaching, and help people discover their authentic self, connect them to authentic self, living an authentic life. And then you also have a really cool podcast called Coffee O'Clock. So welcome to being here. Thank you for showing up and spending time with us.
Happy to be here, Tanya. Thank you for the invitation. And you were a guest on that podcast you just commented. So
Yeah. So definitely check it out. You can see there's some links there on the bottom of the screen. So if you're tuning in, let us know. Just post a comment. If you're watching the replay, let us know. #replay. So Burcu, can you share with us, Burcu, sorry, will you share with us your journey? Because everybody has one, and when it comes to making that choice to, present yourself to the world as, the work that you're doing, I'm curious to know, what was the journey?
the journey was long and not much fun because in my life, I was raised as, you need to get a guaranteed job and have certain things to create happiness in your life. It's a universal law, especially for women. You can relate to this. You need to graduate from the best school, get a job, get married, and then have a child. And in this chaos, you have no right to find who you really are. And in 2015, when I was living in Turkey and I was a human resources specialist in an international company, I had everything that most people dream about: having a great job, having a car, having friends, living with family, great life, right? But I was not happy. My soul was not happy. And on my third year, which is in 2015, I really felt, what is wrong with me? I didn't know that I was asking wrong questions to myself because I was blaming on myself in terms of all these societal rules. I needed to be happy, but I was not. So I was thinking something was wrong about me. But actually, my soul wanted me to find the life purpose that I had, the dreams I had. And I started soul searching, and that's how I met NLP, neuro linguistic programming, which truly helped me to understand how the mind works, why I do what I do. That is tool, neuro linguistic programming. If the audience doesn't know, it truly means it helps you to understand why you do what you do, help you to make better, clear decisions, and simply it helps you to understand how this machine we all have works. So in that journey, completing NLP practitioner, NLP master practitioner, life coaching, professional life coaching training, I found what I wanted to do in this life. And that is to become international motivational speaker, owning a business, living in the United States, working with people, helping people. And that's how I started shifting my life. In 2016, I quit my job and left my whole life, 25-year life, back in Turkey and moved to Los Angeles without knowing anyone, without having a job, and without speaking English.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's amazing. Um, yeah, so I'm curious, NLP, I've heard of it. I know I understand that it works with the mind, the subconscious, etcetera. Can you talk a little bit more about, like, okay, well, if someone, is interested in getting an NLP session, like, what can they expect? Like, what does that look like exactly?
I use NLP in all of my work, in my coaching or branding when I work with entrepreneurs, because NLP is the core of communication.
Mhm,
What it means is, if I use a metaphor, NLP, neuro linguistic programming, right? So our neurons can be programmed by linguistic, by our language. So we can program our mind that has our beliefs, our thoughts. We can program them with the words we use every time, every moment. We have the words that either shape our life in a positive way or negative way. So, how I work with my clients is that I help them first watch their language,
mm,
watch how they speak to themselves,
mm,
how they have a self talk, and how they create goals for them professionally or personally. Do they believe in them, or do they have limiting beliefs? NLP helps you to delete or update the folders we have.
mhm,
As I mentioned, using a metaphor, if you think of your brain as an iPhone or smartphone that we all have in this world, some of us have multiple. So it
mhm,
has apps, right? And those apps can represent your beliefs in your mind. And those apps, they need updates sometimes, and sometimes if you don't use them or can be harmful for your iPhone, then you need to delete them. And
mm,
that is the same for our thoughts, our beliefs. Some beliefs don't serve us at this moment. They served us maybe in the past, but today and in the future it's not going to serve us. So we need to update them or change them. And with NLP, with the words, you can understand how you use them, and you can reshape them, reframe them, and create a better results.
I see. Can you give an example of that? Like, let's say oh gosh, I'm trying to come up with something. Um, because it's not just affirmations, is it?
Mhm.
It's not
No, it's
just
not.
affirmations.
It's
So
not. I have a good one. I have an
okay.
example. I use this every time, and it was very hard for me to remove from my language. And I challenge your audience to try it in the future.
Mhm,
It is should. The word should.
mhm,
I always say, don't should on you. Because when you use should, it is literally you're shooting yourself. When you say, I should lose weight, or I should finish this presentation, I should do this, I should do that, what happens is, or the opposite version, I shouldn't. It seems like there is another power, somebody tells you what to do or not to do when you use should. When you observe yourself while using should, I should lose weight, it's not necessarily your decision, is
mm,
it?
mm,
It
mm,
is based on somebody else's opinion or social norm, whatever that is, that it's not yours.
mhm,
Even if it is something that literally you should do. Let's say you work with a boss, and your boss requires you to do something and you don't want to do it, and it feels like you should do. Even in that case, you have a choice. You don't have to do it. You can choose to not do it and then accept the results that will come after. You still have a choice that if you replace should with I choose to do this, or I get to do this, I am doing this, I want to do this, it
Mhm.
changes your energy, your vibration, and the energy you send out to the universe. You know this better than me. You work with energy, and the way we talk, especially with ourselves, really creates our nature, our reality. So that is the most powerful example. If you ever want to use should in the future, remember to not should on you, and remember to replace it with another word, another phrase
Mhm.
that will change your mood and your reality.
Gotcha. And so you kind of guide people um, into becoming aware of the words that they're choosing when they speak about themselves or their business or their life. Um, it's like I would imagine that the client's just speaking to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking, okay, tell me what's going on or whatever. And then they're talking, and then it's almost like I bet you can say, like, okay, so notice that you're using this languaging. This is how you're talking about this. This is how you're talking about that. And that's how it's affecting it. And then let's go back and let's choose, let's become more mindful about what are the words that we actually want to choose. So it's a very much feels like well, in a way, I imagine the client has to develop that awareness over time, right? Like, okay, for example, the word should.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to catch, to teach the client, okay, you're gonna listen for that. You have to catch yourself. You have to catch yourself first, and then you have to change it, right? Like
Yes,
it makes yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
that is one part of using NLP and working with NLP. And the other powerful tools it has, like hypnotic
Okay.
wording. It has
So
other exercise that help people to change their limiting beliefs and create a better achievable goals.
okay, so there is some like hypnosis involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. See, I didn't know that part, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Wow. And so, let's see. So I'm curious to know about, maybe you'd like to talk now about, your podcast, unless there's more that you wanna share about NLP. Is there
There
anything?
is so much more. If we have 5 to 6 hours, I'm happy to share.
Well, I'm curious, so yeah, so NLP, so how, it's more complex, like, we've kind of oversimplified it,
Yes, yes.
but it's much more complex. So you are able to apply it and look at all these different areas in life, right? Um, yeah, so tell us about how, like, how do you work with clients? If somebody were to come to you and say, "Okay, Burcu, I want my life is a mess. I don't know what I want. I'm feeling disconnected from myself. Like, I'm in a job that I hate. Uh, my marriage is on the rocks." Like, how would you what how do you start? Because oftentimes, people come and it's like it feels like it's mountains and mountains of issues. How do you guide them? Where do you start?
We all have lots of issues from time to time. Sometimes we have all at once, sometimes we have one tiny little issue. So when
Mhm.
they come, like you said, everything is a mess. Then I always start with the first session, deep session, where we decide what to focus on first. And then we can line up how long we need to work together, and we can decide that along the way as well. So I don't necessarily have, like, I work with my clients 3 months, 6 months. It depends on each person's issues and values and what they want to achieve. But in general, I work with one-on-one. If we are in the same city, I meet them in person. If we are not, mostly it's not. I work overseas. My clients mostly from the US, and so we meet through Zoom. I sometimes include Reiki meditation into my sessions that will make it more powerful. And most of the times I use NLP techniques depending on the issue. Then we
Mhm.
work towards that. And I'm a certified professional coach. So I use all those coaching skills to guide people to make the better decisions for themselves.
Mhm. And so when you're working with entrepreneurs, all entrepreneurs want success. They want the financial abundance and they want the success. Do you find that in order to have that abundance and success that sometimes it's not directly correlated to the business? Do you find that you have to address other areas of life in order to create the success in the business? I mean, what's your approach when it comes to working with the entrepreneurs and the coaches?
Yes, mostly we decide working on their marketing, branding, but then when we start, even in the marketing and branding part, I have the first session to understand their goals, and I always send out the survey for them to fill out so that I understand their goals, short term, long term. There are so many questions, deep questions. It's kind of a coaching session when they fill out the form as well. And
Mm,
when they come to our session, first session, I can understand where they are at and where they want to be. Sometimes we start working on their personal goals and then move into professional. Sometimes we do together along the way, 1 week personal, 1 week professional. And that's how it works. Mostly I include coaching because who doesn't need coaching? Everybody needs. I have
yeah,
my coach.
yeah, absolutely, definitely. Tell us about your podcast, Coffee
It is
O'Clock.
called The Coffee O'Clock. It has been all around Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube for 5 years. YouTube is recently, but it's been around for 5 years. I interview people like yourself, like Tanya, from all around the world who have an amazing story and expertise to evolve my audience personal and professional life. It is called The Coffee O'Clock because in mostly my culture, Turkish culture, but traveling all around the world for the past 7 years, I found that it's a universal thing that we like to do as humans. When we say, let's grab a coffee, it doesn't mean we crave for coffee. It means we crave for connection. It means we want to share. We want to connect with one another. So that's why the name is The Coffee O'Clock. I want people to tune in, discover new ideas, receive inspiration and joy, and just have 20 minutes, 25 minutes spark in their day to day life. It's always published every Monday. And like I said, it's on YouTube as well. And on Instagram, I share always 1 minute part with my guests. Yeah, that is my podcast.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so if you guys are curious about that, it's there on the bottom. Maybe we'll, put a link
Yeah.
in the comments too for people to go there, and are you currently, um, accepting new guests on the show?
Yes,
Yeah?
always looking for guests. Even though I am packed at the
Yeah,
end of November, I still record episodes and it will be published whenever the line is up. So I always have guests.
okay, beautiful. Um, I guess one more question, um, when it comes to helping someone find their authentic self, what is the most valuable core piece of advice that you could give to someone who's struggling with that?
Very simple one, I could say putting yourself first. We all have endless to-do lists every day. I have a bunch of to-do list, and I always write down things. But first, how people say, but first coffee, I say, but first you.
Mm,
I want to make sure that I put myself first, and I encourage my clients and my people around me to do the same. Because if you're not here, if you're not healthy mentally, spiritually, and physically, then you're not good in anything you're going to do. So make sure you are good first, and then jump into your tasks.
yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Burcu. This is any last anything else you want to share before we sign off? Oh,
No,
yeah.
I
Well,
think
I wanted to ask you actually, do you have any almost forgot. Do you have any like what are do you have any current offerings, any current programs or packages that people can look into?
yes, I have my packages on my website, which is in the chat. On the branding page, if you go there, I've just updated my packages, and it's a great deal. And if I also have a deal one-on-one, if it doesn't serve you, if it's too much, if you want to have payment plan, I am open for that too. I have some clients that they have payment plans, so you don't have to pay it all at once. I always like to have a first call with people who want to change their personal or professional life. I always believe that we find a way, and we always do. So go check out my website, and feel free to message me on Facebook or email me from the links you will see.
Yeah.
So happy to connect.
Yes, I just have to say something about that because my experience is when you said there's always a way, my experience has always been when I say yes to something, even though it's like, oh, that's going to be an investment, it always works out. It always works out.
Mhm.
So yeah, so definitely check out her page. And yeah, any last words?
Thank you. It's
Yeah,
been great chatting with you. I couldn't understand how the time flies. So
I know, it's crazy. Yes, awesome. Yeah, and thank you everyone for watching. Again, be sure to like and subscribe here. Be sure to check out Boju's Coffee O'Clock podcast, her website. She's on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, lovely Burcu. As always, just I love your energy and thank you so much for doing what you do in the world. It's really awesome.
thank you. You too. You are doing an amazing work. And thank you so much again for having me.
All right, awesome. Bye.
Bye, everyone.